Good day guys, welcome back to the Know Your channel. Today we're going to talk about the sensitive part in the market, what battery to use, why to use a certain battery. Myself, been in the market for 14 years, there's always terms and conditions, ply and fight about everything. Guys, for me instance, there's multiple brands in the market, it's always about price for the end user. My biggest concern to the end user always is, if you buy a battery, why do you buy the battery, and where do you get support afterwards? You don't get support from your installers because the installer closes business, he runs away, or whatever such scenario. This is a client with a battery, so manufacturer is in Joburg, and the first thing I tell you, send a battery back to us, and then we can look at a battery. So guys, to courier a battery from Cape Town to Joburg, we make an inference, that's about $600 or $700. But the problem comes, your client don't have a battery. So if you don't, as an installer or as a supplier, if you don't have a loan unit for a client, it makes a frustration at your client. So guys, this is where it comes to Solar MD. I don't claim them to be the best battery. Just once, I don't claim to be the best battery. I claim them to have this after-work support. For my side, and I know Kalyan and his team quite well, I have fight myself with them to get parts sorted, but I can tell you one thing. They never turned their back on me. They never told me anything. They always been supportive. They had issues with BMS failures. They are manufacturers, they have their problems. But I can be honestly, proudly to say, they have one thing that everybody is doing afterwards. So I think in 2014, 2015, Kalyan started playing with batteries. In 2017, 2018, they launched this thing called the battery logger. Way ahead of everybody. Guys, then I get to site and the client is shouting and screaming because nobody wants to give them support on this brand. I said to him, where's your battery logger? Then he goes, no, I don't have a logger. So guys, for me as a port guy, always on the road supporting people, this is the product I drive around in my bakkie. This is a V2 logger, it's an old generation logger, but it still do the job. You plug it in, make a Wi-Fi hotspot with your phone, 2 WhatsApps away, Kalyan, most batteries can be resolved or issues can be sorted out via internet. Now guys goes, but why? Guys, Victron is a very good product, but there's a problem they call the servo. This is client interface. So there's a lot of stories I can tell you, but this thing updates its firmware the whole time, change way of communication to make it faster. That's not the bad thing why Victron is upgrading it, is to make the system faster. But one problem is, this battery needs to be updated also. There's new firmware coming out, Kalyan and Solar MD on a daily basis, do development to make the batteries that's in the field and the new batteries much more efficient. So to do that, you need to update your battery. Now, I also ask people, is like, how do you talk to this battery? It's through this logger. Okay, guys? So, my claim is always, before a client gets, your inverter settings is wrong, says, before you start it, first let me install a logger, get it online. We always have the relationship with Solar MD. I ask them to, when I'm on site, check the battery. Certain firmware models, they have to switch off the battery to do the firmware update. So we do all the firmware updates when I'm on site to make sure it is to the latest update when I leave. And what we do is, from my side, I can log in, and they can log in from their side, also on a logger. So what's nice about this is, I can log into the battery and see there's an unbalanced cell. The Victron also report unbalanced cell. We can log into the physical battery and see what the battery is doing. So if there's a problem with the cell, they will look after the Solar MD. If there's a problem with the balancing of the battery, they can sort it out via their formulas that they do. So guys, now everybody goes to me, yeah, but let me tell you guys, I challenge you to show me what battery had a logo like this before SolarMD. None. Afterwards, I can tell you, and I'm not claiming back, Hubble have the cloud. It is after this, not before this. The Freedom One's new batteries has a cloud system installed. It's only now. BYD has a cloud system, but still, SolarMD still have. Yeah, there's multiple versions of the logo, but since day one, they sold batteries, there was a logo involved. That is making them way ahead of any other battery. So guys, if you have a SolarMD battery and you have issues, and you don't have a logo, don't complain. First get your installer to get the logo installed, and then after that you have issues. So this logo can do multiple stuff. You can switch relays on. If you don't have a VCLON system and your battery is full, you can wire your contactor to here, to wire, now off-grid scenario, if a plain inverter, you can use this relays to switch on geysers, switch off geysers. There's multiple stuff you can do with these relays if you program them correctly. So guys, please, it's a black box, but it always works, I promise you. Thank you.